Now the British have done quite well on the sporting arena for the last couple of years, and now the most British car company in the world is trying to bowl us over with its sportiest model yet, the Rolls-Royce Wraith. Well, first of all, this is a very, very special place to sit, and I'd have to say opulence is a little bit of an understatement. There is a nice mix of traditional Rolls-Royce cues and a whole lot of modern technology in this car, and it's not surprising that it comes all from the BMW group, as Rolls-Royce is owned by the German car company. But what is even more amazing is the level of detail that they've gone to make it absolutely bespoke to Rolls-Royce. You know, it's got things like the iDrive controller, which manipulates all those features in the multi-function screen, such as the sat-nav, and the audio system, which has got more speakers than a Metallica concert and is so well tuned to this car that it doesn't even have a brand on it. It's also got forward collision warning, lane keeping assist, and a head-up display, all from BMW. And that level of attention to detail goes to the point where even the font in the head-up display is different, making it exclusively Rolls-Royce. Now the materials in this car, as you'd expect from Rolls-Royce, are absolutely top-notch. Now even though the colour scheme is quite bold, the mixture of leather, wood grain and beautifully polished chrome actually works well in this car with that classic mix of old-school Rolls-Royce. Now these seats are literally sumptuous. You fall into them and they cosset you like a big hug. And the Wraith is definitely a car that you're going to drive yourself. Even though it's got plenty of room down the back, this is a two-door Rolls-Royce and made for the driver. Now there's a lot of theatre about the Rolls-Royce Wraith, from the crystal Spirit of Ecstasy logo that raises and lowers from the bonnet, to the hubcaps that remain upright, to the beautiful Starry Night LED roof, to these suicide doors with automatic closing feature. Under the bonnet is a 6.6 litre twin-turbo V12 that produces 465 kilowatts and 800 newton metres of torque, that is capable of propelling it from 0 to 100 kilometres an hour in 4.4 seconds. That makes it the most powerful and fastest car ever from the British brand. As you'd expect from something with that much power, and in a car that weighs close to 2.5 tonnes, fuel consumption isn't its forte, with a claimed average of 14 litres per 100 kilometres. But it does have a headline-grabbing world first, with an 8-speed automatic gearbox that is linked to the sat-nav system to preempt gear changes. For all of its luxuries, the Wraith is not a cheap car, with a starting price of $645,000 plus on-road costs. Well, as for how it drives, this isn't quite a sports car. It literally feels huge on the road, but it is whisper quiet and rides on a pillow of air. There's plenty of steering lock, and as for an engine, well, it doesn't actually feel like it's got one. It feels like it's got a generator or something under there. You can hardly hear it until you give it a bootful, and then a twin-turbo V12 just lights up the front, lifts the nose, and it's like you're riding a speedboat. Now, Britain certainly does better sports cars, but for those with endless pockets and want to still spend their time behind the wheel, nothing comes close to the Rolls-Royce Wraith.